No, we want to be.
Are you ready, Kenzie?
Yep, you're on.
Okay, so Krista wanted to introduce Amy tonight. Krista and Amy are really, really, really good friends. And, well, we're all good friends, but they're really good friends.
Yeah.
So, Krista, it's all yours.
I actually asked Krista to introduce Amy because we know that Amy is awesome, but Krista knows the ins and outs of how awesome Amy is. So we wanted to make sure that Amy got the very best introduction that she could get. So you're on, Krista.
All right. Sweet. Well, Mark, I just have to say, though, that you're always going to be my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
So, Amy, I love Amy. So, we got to know each other for really the first time at convention a couple of years ago, where she got to actually room with Chris and I, which was super fun. She probably thought, holy crap, who are these crazy people from Idaho? And we got to laugh at her accent, and it was just a great week. So anyways, but Amy is and just an amazing human being. I think that she, if you have ever spent a second on any of these sizzles, you know how awesome she is. And I think that the part that I like so much about her is that she's so super genuine and isn't afraid to like get out there and just be like, hey, what's up? Let's have a conversation, So she's always been super, super helpful to everybody who asks for help, very willing to give of her time and her energy. And so it's just an honor to have her as a member of my team and definitely one of my closest friends. So with all of that, I give you Amy Guthrie. Yay!
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't tell me that was coming. I probably would have been crying all day about it. I'll cry later. I did make a little PowerPoint, so I'm like juggling a few different devices here so that I can do everything the way I want. Yay. You guys can all see that, right? Okay. So this is the theme of my talk tonight. My name is Amy Guthrie, and I have been doing doTERRA for 3 years now. I had my 3-year anniversary at the end of January. And I feel like I've learned a few things that are really important to know in this business. I think most of them are things that you only learn when you're exposed to network marketing over time. And I have both a privilege and a challenge of being a low-level leader after this long. And I think it's put me in a unique position. So without further drum roll, I am going to bust some popular doTERRA myths. 7 things that leaders learn that can sink your business before it even gets off the ground. So, I put a few pictures together. I have 3 children. They are aged 18, 15, and 11. I have a husband. We've been married we've been together 20 years, married almost 20. This is my favorite vacation spot. It's York Beach in Maine. This is a view that we get from the house we rent. And it's just one of my most favorite places in the whole wide world. I do lots of other things besides oils. I'm a certified middle school teacher. I'm a doula. I was a phlebotomist. I crochet and quilt. I make clothes. I'm a little obsessed with cleaning, which you can't always tell behind me, but I like everything to be nice and clean. So the natural cleaners were actually one of the last things that I converted to because I had always associated the smell of bleach with clean. Not anymore, but that was probably one of the last things I switched over. I've been doing doTERRA for over 3 years. I was not a network marketing virgin, but I had only ever done one other network marketing company. And there was a point where, as I was building that, my husband said, you either need to like really do this or get out. And I got out. So with doTERRA, I've hit that point probably 18 months ago, and I've decided to just keep going. This time I'm not gonna get out. There's a lot of reasons why that. I started this business with no intention of building, and then I hit executive before I knew that I was building a business. I wasn't building, I was talking to my friends and I was doing what I do. And since I figured that out with my uplines, I jumped in with both feet, and I've actually been elite for 26 months. This week was the week of the month that I hit elite. It was the 20s, and it's been 26 months, and I think now I figured out why. So elite is a gift rank, but no matter where you're at, if you feel stuck, it's a challenge. Elite is a gift rank because when you're a silver leader, you have to have 3 elites. If you're a diamond rank, you need 12 elites, which is actually 4 silvers. And a presidential diamond leader has 18 elites. Elite leaders have 3,000 OV, and they don't need any legs, which means they don't need any designated builders. It's really about volume and structure. I know that you really can't be stuck, because being stuck is only when you're not doing the work, then you stand still. But it was this very stuck feeling that led me to the presentation that I created for tonight. And I think it's an important thing to share. There's a lot of focus on higher ranks, and I think a lot of times it gets forgotten that elite is a linchpin rank, and the people who are underneath the mark of elite are actually working really, really hard. I always get that image of a duck, where the duck is sitting on top of the water, and underneath it's all this activity. And I think especially when you're director and moving towards executive, you are working really, really hard. So those are some of the things I wanted to talk about. But I also love this image where it has silver with the 3 circles underneath, and then presidential diamond with the same three circles underneath. I'm not even sure if that's what the pin looks like anymore, but I don't think it matters. I like the comparison, because that's what we're all doing, is we're building to hit each one of these ranks. And I just enjoyed like the similarity of these pictures. So a myth is any invented story, idea, or concept. So we're really not going to be busting open a myth like Wonder Woman or how the tooth fairy knows when you lose a tooth. But I've encountered these ideas over and over again, and I feel like people believe them as hard as they look for Bigfoot or wish for super speed powers. I don't have anything against the power of belief, but there's a few things I wanted to suggest if you explore, and if, like me, you've ever felt stuck in this business. I consider these to be myths that we all buy into, especially early in our doTERRA journeys, and some people don't ever let go of them. It's okay if you're happy where you are. If you're content being elite or silver or a director or manager, then that's fantastic. I'm not happy being elite, and this talk, I think, is a big part of me forwarding my journey. And so I've included a few of my favorite mass repeated myths for everybody. And we can all sort of think of that legend story. So I'm not calling anybody out, but everybody's got a story. And you can say, oh, so-and-so I know told me they built only online. Nobody ever talked to a real person in face-to-face. Or, oh, this person I heard, her upline gave her every single person. She didn't sign anybody up. They stacked it under her and blah, blah, blah. Or this last one's actually my favorite. So-and-so's never held a live class or even held a class. Are you kidding me? For real? But these are all things that you hear. It's things that people talk about. I like to call these the little urban legends or urban myths. Unfortunately, there is no Snopes for that. But I'm here to help us get around a lot of these misunderstandings, if you will. So myth number 1, find your why and stick with it. There's all this talk about your why and how you need to find it and stick with it. They want you to make it your mantra. They want you to put it on a vision board behind you. They want affirmations and afformations. Stick some Post-it notes everywhere, write it on your mirror, have it on your fridge, put it in your lunchbox. Everything short of getting it tattooed across your forehead or across your husband's forehead so that you're looking at it all the time. Is it really that important to ask why? Of course it is, because part of what I've learned with these myths is that when you keep hearing it over and over again, and you hear it across lines, you hear it at convention, you hear it in other businesses. I have friends that work lots of other direct sales, and they talk about their why. Then you're looking at sort of a universal truth. The myth part of this, and this is what took me the long time, is that your why is going to change. And it's okay. So some of these images could represent what you think your why is or where you think your why is headed. And maybe it's not. And I think the truth is that you need a motivation. So if one of these images is something that touches upon what you're motivated by, I think that's the point. You're going to start in a place where you will not end up. And the idea is to start and then let it come to you and evolve as you journey. And then your real why, or the base of your why, will emerge. Sort of get underneath those extra crispy layers and get inside to the gooey center. My why is not what it started at. And I know that as you travel, yours won't be either. The myth here is that some people believe that there's only one why that will resonate with everyone. And somehow that whatever that magical why is will resonate and be identical with your leaders. And that if you don't have the same why as the people you're working with, then you're not meant to work together. And I think that's just silly. And I wish everybody would just stop it. Embrace the differences and embrace what makes us all special. Then I start to sound like a bunch of Facebook memes, but I mean it. It's true. Myth number 2 is to do it this way. Many people want to tell you you need a system, or that you don't need a system, or that you need a new system, or that you need the system your upline has, or you need the system that your crossline is using, or you go to an event and then there's another system and you think that's a better idea, or somebody you know that sells a different product is using a different system, so that has to be the way to do it. The truth of the matter is that systems work for a lot of people, but there are also a lot of systems out there. In fact, there's just about a system for every person who is a diamond rank. So you certainly have your pick. My system seems to be a hybrid of what I found that works and things that I see work. So I will take a piece from here and a piece from there and a piece from something else. One handout I find online and something else I'll order, and be able to put everything together. And this is exactly the point on why I'm running my own business. This is what I wanted. I wanted to do it my own way. So don't be afraid to blaze your own path. The bottom line is always going to be the same. Share, educate, enroll, and duplicate. Without the basics, you won't have a business. So it's not important how you do it, just that you do it. It's so hard when you're starting out and then you think you need a system and it's just another $30 that you don't have. So like Romy always says, take what you need and leave the rest. If you're sharing from your heart, the other parts will take care of itself. Myth number 3, I don't need personal development. This one was very stubborn for me, and of course was something that I needed more than anything else. The owners of doTERRA have called doTERRA a personal development company wrapped up in an essential oil company. Wow, did I roll my eyes hard at that one first time I heard it. Some people think I'm fine. I don't need any personal development. This is sales. It's not church. This was one of the facets I resisted the most when it came to my doTERRA business. I thought, I don't have time to read about how to be a more emotional person or about how the power is within me. I have plenty of power. Like, I'm the mom. I don't need to learn that. But you know where I'm going, and this is probably one of the most important and unique things that doTERRA encourages and promotes. to have someone like Immaculée for a keynote speaker? How can you get more personal than overcoming her story of tragedy to be successful? Thankfully, very few of us will ever encounter a situation like that, but everybody's got their baggage, and this company really wants to help you lighten your load. If you are resisting this facet of your business, you are going to halt your own growth, and that I can promise you, because I am personal testimony to that one. Myth number 4, doTERRA is just another MLM. Can everybody join me with a little snicker on that one? You've heard this from somebody you know, maybe a relative, a friend, maybe a downline, maybe a potential downline. I still have my neighbors sort of snickering a little bit every now and then. Ooh, you're still doing that? That's so cute. It's easy to forget how special doTERRA is, especially when you're working hard to hit a rank and you just need X amount of PV, just in this one spot. And then you take a minute and you step back and you realize it's not like another MLM. I work with several local direct salespeople, like a lot of people on this call and a lot of people that will listen to this, in all sorts of companies. And some of them are in the same market of healthcare and natural products. And these companies are doing okay, but the reps just aren't going to stand the test of times with the company because their earnings are 100% related to how much product they move. They keep product on hand for resale, and they often have to do sales drives at the end of the month or the end of a quarter or the end of a catalog because they have to get rid of the old product and make room for their new stuff. And then they have to get more stock and carry it with them and have that on hand. doTERRA is special because of our amazing compensation plan. Remember, we're all building a pipeline. We're not hauling buckets. If you have not learned the 5 ways we get paid, go ahead and do yourself a favor and find something on YouTube by Justin Harrison or Teresa Harding, or go find your upline. And this leads me straight into myth number 5. But you don't need to know that right now. I'm in several accountability groups and business building groups and all sorts of other stuff all over Facebook, social media, following these people. And one of my partners I was paired with, who also works in doTERRA, was curious about a part of the compensation plan. So she reached right to her direct upline, who didn't know the answer. So they went to the next person above, and that person said to her, "Oh, don't worry about that right now. You don't need to worry about that." Excuse me? So a woman who's running her own business doesn't need to know a piece of a business that she's running? This might be a really tiny part of your plan, and maybe it's something that's not affecting you right at this moment, but it's your business. Everybody's got stumbling blocks. I mean, raise your hand if you've heard dynamic compression 10 times. However, it's your business, and whenever you are ready to learn, you should find out. Your upline is not responsible to teach you this information, by the way, and neither is their upline or theirs or anybody else's, no matter how far you go. They may be very willing and ready to help you, but it's your business. So read the policy manual, which, by the way, we all signed, and it was recently updated. I think last week there was an update to it. It's available on doTERRA.com. And go find some good compensation information right at doTERRA.com. Find some other sources that you can count on. I like to start with someone like Justin Harrison because he's a wellness advocate 1001. There's a reason we listen to him. And then I personally head down my own genealogy. If you don't know your genealogy, I'm sure that someone on this call can help you with that. And if not, it's in your back office. I don't know how to walk you through it on this, but I can help you later. And find somebody you trust to tell you what you want to know. Please don't Google it. Please don't ask your neighbor's dog. They don't know. Myth number 6, your leaders are going to stick with you through it all. I wish I had some sort of cheesy music cued. So these people you put on your front line I had a handful of people that signed within a few weeks and months of myself that were right sitting on my front line. I was so excited. I had 5 people. I had 5 leaders. I'm dreaming of this doTERRA empire, and I'm going to share oils every day, all day. And we're going to have this 100-mile circle around us of everyone using doTERRA. And then we're going to take a vacation together in the Bahamas, and we're going to have a Bahama leg. And then we're going to do a silver summit. We've got all these things planned. And we don't even have 200 OV. That these people will stay with you forever, and they will create this dream with you. And they're in it to win it. And they will never leave because they love the oils. You know, I really, really hope they stay with you. I really do. I was told early on to be really careful of who I left on my front line. But I did not listen. Of course not. It's my business. I did not listen. Be cautious. 85% of the people who sign with doTERRA are only there for their own personal use, which is fine. 82% of those who sign up for oils don't ever enroll anyone else. Ever. Like, do some math. Like, that's 8 people out of 10. It's fine. These are fabulous numbers. And remember, the retention rate for our company overall, for everyone, including these people who just order their own oils, is 68%, which is really huge. Like, really, really huge. The front line of your business is truly precious real estate. I did not realize that until I woke up one day and I realized I had this very long line of people stretched across my front line with all this volume spread out, and I really don't have any way to get rid of that. I don't have any way to move them for the most part. There are rules and there are finer details. I don't want to get into any of that. So qualify your front line. Ask some questions, and please do a wellness consult. If you don't know what that is, private message me. I will fill you in. Talk to your leader. Hopefully, your enroller did a wellness consult with you, so you will mirror his or her behavior, and you'll continue to do wellness consults. I'm 100% sure my enroller offered me a wellness consult, but I wasn't building a business. So I didn't take it up on that because I thought that was for just a business, and I wasn't running a business. I was just buying oil. We met plenty of times since then, and we talked all about it. But I just want to remind everybody that just a small percent of the 15% of people who sign up with doTERRA to run a business stick with it longer than a couple of years. And that's just statistics. I'm not trying to be a pessimist. This is, maybe my favorite myth page because I didn't realize that James Van Der Beek was moving. I'm like so distracted when I see it. Dawson from Dawson's Creek, he's like so sad. These are like all of the emotions you run through because myth number 7 is that it's easy to quit. In theory, it sure is. But this is a business of relationships. I know the first time I thought about quitting, it was because I had a hard day. This business is hard. People don't do what they say they're going to do, and you can do all of the steps properly, and the plain and simple truth is that even David Sterling does not close 100% of the people. That's just the truth. It takes time to learn that, so we can refer back to numbers 3 and 6. But this is your business, so you're attracting what you put out. Back in the 80s when I took my first programming class, it was like 3rd grade. I learned garbage in, garbage out. And this is the same concept. I felt stuck because I'd gotten my mind fixed on the wrong things at the wrong time. Integrity is very important. Be who you are and do what you say you're going to do. You can do this as fast or as slow as you want, and it's sure not for everyone. But if you decide to step down, don't think it's going to be easy because it's not. My friends do this business with me, and I am friends with people who do this business. Those friends make it all that much harder to give up. They help me remember why I do this. Yes, it's hard, but it's just so worth it. So saying I quit and actually walking away are 2 different things. There's a reason those leadership pools are so sweet, because not everyone makes it to the diving board. And just so everyone knows, there's a rule on Rockstars that you're actually not allowed to quit on a bad day. So if you feel like you need to quit and you're having a really terrible day, you need to call someone that is on this call or on your team, because you're not actually allowed to. You can quit the next day, but not that day. I also asked a lot of doTERRA wellness advocates who are leaders of various ranks, and we felt like we had found some universal truths, some things we would have never learned if we weren't doing doTERRA, and things we feel richer for having learned. Number one on this list is how to truly listen to people. This is a skill you hone really quickly when you want to build your business. If you're not listening, or you're only listening to reply, people see that and feel that right away. Are you having trouble getting people on LRP? Maybe this is a key for you. Number two is doTERRA's global community love. It's a real, actual thing. This falls into a category I almost created called No Way This Is Actually True, and then it's actually true. So their association with OUR and with Days for Girls, Choice Humanitarian, Healing Hands, pictures of Emily Wright crying in places like Nepal, Somalia, Haiti, pretty much all over the world. It all seems surreal until you start meeting these people and you realize they have more footage than any company could ever fake, even if they wanted to. This is real, you guys, and we are all a part of it. This is a global movement, and it's good, and it's powerful, and it's ours. Number three, patience. Oh man, are you going to learn patience? Patience with yourself, with your leaders, with your business, your customers, and your whole family. Letting things go and waiting for the moment, and patience with follow-up between 8 to 12 times per people. Got 100 people on your list? Just do some basic math, and that's 1,200 phone calls. And that, to me, is an exercise in patience. Number four, getting outside your comfort zone. I was told to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it's starting to be a normal thing, that knot in the bottom of my stomach when you take a new risk or you make a new move. I dropped off samples last week at my orthodontist office, and that doesn't seem scary, right? Yeah, I was terrified the whole entire time. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable is just as hard as you think it is. Do you feel comfortable doing your business? I got news, you're not doing it right. You're not growing. Number five, this business is a boost of confidence that you never knew you needed. I started with a really simple why. Money for school bills that were going to snowball to college bills. I think that seems pretty simple. I've since learned that it's so much more than that to me. This business is a way for me to be myself and nurture my inner spirit while growing and helping others do the same thing if they choose, or help them find a simple way to make some small changes and live a little bit more naturally if they're open to it. At some level, I'm really just extending the way I parent my kids, and it's just morphing into the way I'm running my business. 3 years ago, I never could have seen this. And now I'm starting to see, and no end to it, but I actually am starting to see the path fall in front of me, where for a while you're like crawling through the brush. Now I see that there's a path there. I think for sure I'll pay for colleges and other things, and I'll own a business. I'll run that business from my phone in my pocket while I hike in Nepal or I pick flowers in Madagascar. Whether I choose to sew kits in my basement for Days for Girls or actually help build a structure somewhere on the planet, now I know I can choose. And number six, I have already spent more money than I have to be where I am, because you will spend more money than you have with time you're not sure you can find, and you will create a business that will give you freedom of both. I gave up girls' nights and movies, TV shows, and homemade dinners, but not all of them. Homework time and chores to host classes, attend events, attend trainings, travel across the country, and build my reputation. These are all short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. My short-term is not a superstar short-term of 18 months from enrollment to diamond, but then again, there's a reason we all look at those stories with admiration, because they're unusual. We are the norm. We work hard. We work part-time and weekends. We work when we can here and there, and we work slowly, and slowly our business emerges. We have an amazing month and we almost hit that next rank, and a week later we're really wondering if it's ever going to happen. This is how overnight successes happen. We're creating financial and time freedom overnight, just over lots of nights. This business can be a challenge, but it's worth it. I am elite. And some days I feel like, wow, I am elite. And other days I'm like, yep, I'm elite. Either way, my business continues to grow in measurable ways. If I'm persistent and patient, I will achieve ranks. If I continue to serve with integrity and share the oils, they will do the work, and I will continue to grow this business into something I can run from anywhere. There's value to be had all over, but only you can decide how to grow your business. Like our fingerprints, no two businesses are going to look the same. I want to thank everybody for listening to me, and if you have any questions, I will try to answer them. I hope if you're an elite or lower, you're able to get some encouragement from my presentation. We can't all shoot to silver in 6 weeks. So to everyone, I say, I'm with you, my friend, and we are in this together.
That was fantastic.
Really, really
Great
good.
job. Really, really good.
Really good.
Thanks.
There was one thing you didn't really touch too much on, Amy, which is something that I've always admired about you, and that is attitude. Because you've always got to have a good attitude, and you always, I know some of the things that have gone on with your journey and everything else, but through all of it, you've always had a great attitude and a positive, uplifting attitude, and that's very, very, very important.
Yes,
So, thank you.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
but thank you.
It's inspiring.
Thanks. Thanks. Look, everyone's writing such nice things. Thank you, everybody. A little shout out to all my Massachusetts friends. I didn't say where I live. I don't know if everyone knows, but I'm on the East Coast. I live. Hey, Joanna.
We're on the East Coast.
Hey. Yes, so I live in central Massachusetts. So we're actually, it's 10:35 right here now.
You live in Worcester, isn't that right?
What's that?
You live in Worcester.
I live very close to Worcester. I went to college in Worcester. So I'm actually about 40 minutes north of Worcester. There's this imaginary line where Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Vermont all come together. And I'm right underneath it in Massachusetts. So I can grocery shop in any of the 3 states.
Well, I just know that we have a dinner date planned for sometime in the future in Worcester, so.
We do, that's right. It's very exciting. But yeah, shout out East Coast, woo! All my night owls.
So, Amy.
I'm in New York and I'm going to bed.
Amy, Iris here. You said York Beach in Maine is your favorite place in the whole world. How do you see yourself using York Beach to strengthen you?
Well, it's on my board. You can't see it from here, but I have the house all picked out on Zillow and where it sits. Like, I know where I'm gonna live.
Uh-huh. That's great.
I won't live there in the winter though, because I'm not silly. My friend Karina is underneath me on the Brady Bunch right now, and that I've got my eyes on that prize right there.
You did a wonderful job. Amy and I are kind of our own accountability partners. We just sort of developed that, and so she is great for me, and I hope I'm great for you too, Amy, but it was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're great for everybody, Iris.
That's right.
Well, thanks everybody. And I'm supposed to tell you all that next week on the Sizzle, drum roll that I don't have because I have no technology. Lisa Grossman is going to be back.
Wait.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Kenzie told
I thought you were going to
told
pick
me
somebody.
say, I
That's-
can pick
you're right.
somebody.
You're right.
You're
You're
good.
right.
You're good. Yeah,
Kenzie
you're
told
good. You're
me
good.
Lisa.
Yep,
Maybe
that's true.
maybe next week you can pick somebody.
Oh, I already know. I was outsourcing. I was making sure I'd have people to call on.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
we
we
can't
really,
listen to
really
Jeff and
appreciate
Christy every week, so.
That's right. Payback, right?
Yeah.
Well, if nobody has any questions for Amy, we're going to wrap it up.
Uh,
Anybody?
Kenzie, do we have
Kenzie?
a,
Oh, yeah, we got a giveaway. Kenzie, stop recording.